Greetings, and let the peace of Jesus Christ be with you. I wanted to touch on Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 through 48. We see here that Jesus is speaking to his disciples about retaliation and loving and hating your neighbors. The verse that really strikes me is verse 48, where he says, "Be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect." That word perfect, we really take that word there and put it on the top shelf. I mean, we really, use that word like it's nothing. But most people, I would guess, in my opinion, would say that being perfect is impossible. There's no way someone can be perfect in their ways and their manners, the way they talk and the way they act. We're going to slip up, we're going to spell things wrong, we're going to say things wrong. We're always going to appease everyone the right way. That's not what Jesus is talking about. He's not talking about a perfect flesh. Moses, he wasn't perfect by any means, but God chose him. He had a lisp, but God chose him to direct his people. So Jesus is talking about a spiritual perfection of the heart, to have love for your enemy, and the one that curses you, and the one that hates you, and the one that despitefully uses you and persecutes you. He goes on to say in verse 45 that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven, for he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do you not even publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? So what he's talking about here is that God's people is everyone. There's no subject to what God can give someone. If they will fall down and give their life to him, he will show them mercy. He loves everyone equally, which is true. So we are therefore to be perfect like he is, in a loving sense. And God doesn't just strike anyone down at any moment. Very well, he could. But he's a just God. He gives us that choice. And we therefore are to love as he loves. Not just our friends and the ones that give us acceptance and love for ourselves. We are to love the ones that do the unjust. Our reward is greater. Perfection is within the heart, and it is very possible, because your heart is from what your mouth speaks. So if you speak blasphemy and hate, it comes from your heart. Most people don't even realize that. They think they can't help it, you know. But if you have compassion and you have love towards that person, you can be perfect in your heart, no doubt. If Jesus says it, you can do it. And he says that in verse 38, heard that it had been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. Amazing. Jesus preached like no other man. I mean, who would dare let someone smack them twice? I could think of very little people that would be willing to do that. It's not all about getting your way and retaliation. I mean, that's just, you're stooping to a lower level than what God's standard has for you. And in verse 41, whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away. Jesus asks us very plainly and simply, when someone asketh of us to do a favor, don't turn him down. Go the extra mile. For that is perfection in your heart. See, it is possible to be perfect. It's very possible. If it weren't, Jesus wouldn't preach these words. He wouldn't have came again to die for our sins. People were very imperfect in those days before Jesus. They need Jesus. We need Jesus. We need these words. For your Father in heaven will look upon you and see that your heart is perfect. I was listening to a preacher today, and he was talking about how God let the tree of life, he made that, and he made Lucifer, the devil, not in order to play with us, in order to mess with us, because he knew that man would fall into sin. He's all-knowing. Not in order, he didn't do any of that in order to have a laugh at it. He did it so he could test mankind's heart. Test their hearts. Test our hearts. Because he knows. And he does that today. He tests our hearts with temptations. He lets the devil tempt us. But if we're strong in the faith, and we're strong in Jesus Christ, and we strive to be perfect in our hearts, nothing can conquer us. Thank you for listening to this message. God bless you. Go in peace in Jesus Christ. Amen.